Good evening. Welcome to our GGPP Greedy Gorgon Press podcast. And tonight's a very special night because we've just launched our latest Kickstarter, Jailbreak, inspired by the Thin Lizzy song of the same name.
Yeah.
Literally just pressed the button on the 8th of December. Just hit the button right now. So obviously I'm a mess, but we're going to play it. In honor of that, we're going to play it and maybe post this online, and maybe my mum will listen to it. And yeah, but first, we've got two buds going to play it with me, and let's go to those guys. Chris, let's start with you. Who's your character? Tell us as much or as little as you want to reveal right now, and maybe a little bit about your Kickstarter, which finishes soon.
Where do I start? I'm going to start with my Kickstarter. Violent Night is look at Nathan just trolling me while I'm trying to speak.
I think there's noise in his background. He's telling you to vamp.
Yeah. Got the Violent Night Kickstarter. One more week to go. So grab it. Otherwise, you'll be on Santa's naughty list. It is a series of high stakes hijinks, which is inspired by a very eclectic range of Christmas songs, from the holy to the utterly sacrilegious, and
profane.
Yeah. There are songs with the C-bomb in, and there are songs that are beautifully sung by choral children. That is the full range of Christmas music has been invested into this adventure. I think it's a right party to play. So for me, I haven't taken it too seriously, I think, but it's good fun. We'll have to give it a game soon and make another one of these for that. Character-wise tonight, I'm not sure how much I want to reveal just yet.
Give it a name then.
My character tonight is called Ferdinand Flannel. He is a young priest, and he is on his way to jail for something terrible that
Switching cloth.
They did. Yeah.
He's called Flam.
He is a complicated man. I will introduce him properly when
fine.
When we jump in.
Just wanted to put a name to the voice.
Yeah.
Nathan, you are the author of many successful Kickstarters, and you've got one coming out soon. Would you like to tell us a bit about those and that?
Yes, I would. Yes, I am very excited. I'm about halfway through the kind of the changes and the design of all that. But Highway to Hell will be coming probably, I'm thinking maybe February for kind of Zine Quest, if that's going on. But yeah, it's, as you mentioned, it's essentially the sequel to the 2,200% funded. That's right, Stairway to Heaven. But it's far more demonic. It's got heavy metal, homebrewed, devils and sins, and a Dante adjacent adventure for you to fight your way through. And again, I assume that we'll be podding that pretty soon. But yeah, that will be, look for that in about February, maybe a little earlier.
Great. And what's your character called?
Again, Bartholomew B. Bonkers. Again, I think we'll introduce after the cold opening, I feel.
Yeah, you want a cold opening? Fine, let me give you a cold open. Blackness. But not silence. There was the rumble of cartwheel on rubble and mud, the crinkle of chains, and the rattle of the manacles that keep you all restrained. Then, gates opening, hinges, and more chains, the pull of big, huge bolts, the tumbling of complicated locks. Now, the rumble of cartwheel on cobble, something else, a rhythm and a chant. The door to the wagon opens and you step into the light, bleary-eyed. Before you stands a blue dragonborn in austere black clothing. The chanting sounds louder. The dragonborn smiles a smile that never reaches his jet black eyes. Welcome to Fullshank Prison. I am Warden Spinell. As he speaks, you begin to make out the words of the chant, a cacophony of promised, gleeful violence. 2 words: fresh fish, fresh fish. The chant is for you.
Wow.
You find yourself in a courtyard, cobbled, 2 huge 60-foot gates closed shut behind you, and you were escorted in chains through the courtyard into the main concourse of the prison. It's 2 levels, stairs below, and cells all around you. The chanting is cacophonous and loud and bounces off the walls, and everyone in the jail is looking at you too. The warden points out the cells left and right, points to the kitchen down the back. You're kind of taken to a room. All your weapons are taken off you. You're given regulation uniform. You've searched thoroughly any arcane focuses, or anything that might be a component for a spell is removed from your person. And it's dusk, so you're thrown into your cell, which is 2x4, 5x2, whatever, roughly. Couple of pallets of straw on the floor, bucket in the corner. There's no window. You can't look out. You can't teleport to a place you can see or any of that fucking shit. The door is locked behind you, and as night falls, you are cellmates. And think as well as dusk begins to fall, you can hear from next door. You can hear, "Here, fishy, 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 fishy. See you in the morning." We're in.
For one, sir, do not think one can beckon a fish like a little kitty. Good evening. Man of the cloth, are you?
Ferdinand is facing the wall on his knees and is quietly praying. Perhaps that's what he's doing. He seems in deep conversation, at least, with some sort of power.
Oh, I always get the strange ones. I said, good evening.
And he holds
sir.
up a hand as if to say, "I'll be with you in a second." And then finishes his prayer, stands up. It is a pleasure to meet you. My name...
Where's mine?
Sorry, our name is Ferdinand Flannel. And he holds out a very weak handshake.
I think this weak handshake is met limper, lighter, almost like one of the just the fingertips almost. I just rest the fingertips of mine.
Okay, we've got a handshake off, so I'm going to need you guys to roll for initiative. We make reverse strength rolls.
Reverse
score wins.
deck. I'm not even joking. I'm rolling that.
Reverse strength, lowest wins.
Reverse lowest strength. Oh, come on. That's an 18. That's
just about winning the Ferdinand just about won that by 3. Is there anything you'd like to do in your cell before you turn in for the night?
I think we
What exactly are you in for?
Well, sir, that's quite the story. But I'll just cut to the chase and say they got the wrong man. Yourself, sir.
I was found somewhere I shouldn't have been, doing things that I really shouldn't be doing. And I didn't like being found there by such a large, fat, sweaty man. He always was sneering down his nose at me, and I just thought, I've had enough of seeing you round here, Walter. I stuck him like the pig that he was.
I see. There is I would say Bartholomew Barty kind of retracts his hand at this a little bit and kind of he looks over his cellmate. What does his cellmate look like? What am I seeing here?
The thing that you notice about him is he's young and tall, and he is immaculately clean. He really makes sure that he is fully clean whenever he can.
Interesting.
What about Barty?
Barty is opposite in many ways. He's an elderly chap. He's elven in his lineage, but like strangely for an elf, he's not that well kept at all. He's got a natural disheveled look about him. I'd say the most striking feature is he's just got huge eyebrows, like really big, thick eyebrows, with kind of silvery hair, kind of all, like quite tangled. And yeah, he's got quite long, slender fingers, but again, quite a little bit weathered, a little bit ropey. He's quite tall, but again, very slender. Well, Walter. Oh, well, okay. And he's a little on edge now that you've spoken not only about what you've done, but the way that you've spoken about it.
And you can call me Ferdinand. Or Father.
Ferdinand, is it?
Father, if you'd prefer.
I'll stay with the Ferdinand. A man of your young years seems more appropriate. I myself am Bartholomew B. Bonkers. You can call me Barty. Now, it's been quite the day. You want what have we got? We got bunks here. We got bunk beds.
Pallet of straw each on the floor.
Do you have
Not
a preference?
That's why I should pamper you with a bed. That's it.
Wow, full shankers.
No, I have no preference in this grotesque cell of ours. I will, but I have slept in far worse places, darling. So, this will do.
Well, I'll be turning in now.
Do you wish to make any look around the cell? Do any
Is
checks?
there any water in it?
No. There is a bucket that could hold water should you wish to make some. So I meant pee. If you want to pee in it.
I think I would loudly piss into. I would hope that this piss splashes quite a bit, and I would kind of. I'm thinking Al Sweg. What's his name? Swedgen. When he
Swearingen. Deadwood, yeah.
Al Swearingen, like when he wakes up in the morning, just in the corner, just kind of pisses heavily.
Nice. Okay. Turn again, both of you.
Personally, I think a little bit of a look round, a little bit of a sense of like which cell are we in on the map, which is ours.
Pick one. You've got the main kind of concourse there. There's what, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 7 cells each side. Pick one. I don't think it makes a huge difference. You can if you like, but so put your dudes
7,
in
you'd
whichever
say?
cell you wish.
That's a 4.
Left or right?
Always left. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 down from, which is dead on the.
Okay. Chuck them in.
I'd like to go over to the bars and just look out across and just see whether I can see any guards or prisoners.
There's no bars on the door. There's nothing you can't look at. You can't see. There's no bars on the door.
Okay, it's just a solid door.
It's just a solid wooden door.
Okay.
There's no way you can look out. You know, someone wants to back the campaign and put little windows in their doors. They can, but I'm just very wary of anyone who can. You know, there's a lot of spells out there that go a point you can see. You know, I thought, fuck that. Can't see fuck off.
Smart boy. Barty is going to lie down and feign sleep, but his primary concern at this moment is Ferdinand Flannel, so he's going to keep an eye on him. And I'd like to. I'm not. You said the door's closed, and
Yeah.
correct me if I'm wrong. One of the homebrews on this is if you're caught doing magic, you're in shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
But they can't see. How's detect? With detect magic, they'd be able to detect it even through doors and walls.
Yeah, the detect magic works, I think, as like a 30-foot radius. So the guards on patrol can all cast detect magic at will. So,
Right.
you know, depending on the spell you want to cast, you've got,
It's fine.
let's say, a 1 in 3 chance that someone casting detect magic is walking past and is aware. And that's assuming, you know, you've got the components and you do everything correctly.
Sure, of course. It doesn't matter. I was going to spam Shocking Grasp, not and touch him, but just like have it on me in case he touches me. But that's not going to work because if I'm spamming it, someone will pick up on it. So I will just lie there. Don't elves don't need a lot of sleep, do they?
No, actually.
They need like 4 hours.
4 hours.
Fine.
Yeah.
Then I will stay awake and wait for him. Sorry, Ferdinand, what lineage am I seeing with you?
A human. The truly flawed form of the newest race of beings, human.
Yeah.
Well,
enjoy your.
While you're doing that, I think Ferdinand realizes he can't see anyone. And would you like me, Barty? Would you like me to say a little prayer?
Well, sir, kind of frowns his big eyebrows down. I mean, we may be in here for some time, so I feel it's been to be honest. Those prayers may not do a lot for an old soul like me, but if you find solace, I will not object. So You go
very
ahead.
well.
Please be Thin Lizzy lyric.
Oh God, no. That would require me to listen to the same music as you guys. I think he just bows his head for a moment. In a place such as this, men like you and I are unlikely to succeed by the strength of our hand or our arm. We will require a higher power to aid us. And there is no power higher, no power greater than the mind. And it is in our minds that we shall find freedom and hope and great schemes of cunning that shall free us from the physical bounds of ourselves and the limitations of the fellows that we find ourselves in here with, both guard and prisoner. So let us reflect tonight on what our minds will help us to do.
Well, that's very well said, Ferdy. Intense little fella now, ain't you? But you're quite right about you and I. We're gonna mind work our way out of here. I think this ain't my first rodeo. And when we do, I'll be taking you to another place that maybe you don't want to be caught in public, but you can have some fun there, sir. There is a house in New Orleans.
I believe you and I perhaps frequent the same kinds of places. And that thing when he said that, you heard it in your head.
Oh, God, I might start just banging on the door. Why? Come on, man.
Should you wish to reply, you can reply directly into mine.
Slide into his DMs.
It's not a spell.
Hello? Is this? Oh, someone's read the fine print. Hello? Is it Ferdy? Is that you up in here?
Why, yes. Who else would it be? See, we have found our own little cell that we can live within.
Okay, that's a hell of a parlor trick you got there, but you're gonna need to dial that down a little bit for me, because you giving off a certain.
Okay, you fuckers, you can do this all night. I'm gonna stop. Fall asleep.
4 hours, just us in a cell. Fucking heaven! Thank you so much for setting this up.
Back to campaign, guys. Back to campaign.
This is the campaign, right? No game.
Yeah,
you don't play.
Give your players what they want.
Don't have combat. It's just a lot of time in a cell.
waiting for Godot, basically. Oh, that's not a bad idea.
That's actually a fucking great idea.
You know, you're told, whatever, Warden told you, that the routine here has got 5 parts to it. Breakfast, work, leisure, dinner, and then lights out. You can kind of undertake 5 actions or 5 kind of, things within each of those 5 parts, as befit the area or the narrative we're engaged in. And that's what you know. You'll get your work duty. We can work that out later. But for now, let's say you go asleep, right? And I'm saying you go asleep. You don't have a choice.
They can't sleep. They can't sleep on the cells.
Fucking honestly, railroader. We want 4 hours in a cell.
So dawn breaks and light creeps in underneath your door. Somewhere a horn blares and everyone is awake now. Mechanically, obediently, you stand up and leave your cell to be counted. The day has begun. File down to the canteen, where they slop out a meager portion of barely food into your tray. Even still, you eat quickly, hungrily, warily. So you arrive in the canteen, the kitchen there, you can see it on the map, and you queue up, and you feel the eyes of all the old lags on you because you're the new folks, and they want to see how you cope under the pressures of the first day. Have I got a table for this? Oh, I got a table. I do have a table. So you queue in the queue for slop, and you've got you can see these guys, these prisoners. Let's roll a d4. Roll on the first day table. Oh fuck. Okay. You queue together, I assume. You grab your tray.
Yeah. Can you
And-
let us move to the kitchen?
Yeah, sorry.
Or the
How do
mess
I
hall.
give you queue up, you join the queue, and there's prisoners up and down you. And as you join the queue, this guy comes in behind you. This guy, he's massive, and you can hear as you join the queue, you hear everyone whisper, "Bullyboy, Bullyboy, look, it's Bullyboy," and this massive 7 foot Minotaur-looking kind of guy joins the queue behind you. And what's the order? What order are you queuing in?
I'll go.
Barty's first, I think.
Yeah.
He queues in behind you, and you can hear the kind of almost like a hush to see what he's gonna do. And he's breathing down. Was it Barty? He's breathing down Barty's neck, like like a cartoon kind of bull.
I can feel this, I take it.
You can feel his breath down your neck.
Awesome. Then, may I do something?
Sure, go for it.
So, first thing I'd like to do is just have a look at the screws. Are there many of them? Are they watching? And do I feel that?
Yeah, there's 2 guards either side of the hall. They're watching, but that's all they're doing. They're like, there's a sense almost here of they're all waiting to see what the bully boy does, and the guards are like that too. They're part of the audience. They want to see what bully boy does.
Okay. I'll wait. Try and ignore him.
So your
Take a
turn comes
weed on.
around. Your turn comes around, and the bully boy, the guy behind the counter, gives you your slop. He slops it into the.
Is this a
into
slow
the tray.
moving queue?
Yeah, pretty
Okay.
slow. Yeah.
While this is happening, while we're queuing, Ferdinand would like to focus on one other prisoner that is kind of there and having a chat or whatever. If he can hear someone else talking, another prisoner talking, Ferdinand would like to focus on him. Not doing anything else, just listening.
Yeah, there's there's whispered chats around the tables, around you, around those benches. People talking about, making deals, swapping smokes for shit, and chatting about work duty and all those other things.
And while this is happening, Barty, the presence that you felt in your head disappears.
Oh, okay. Oh, so it's been. I see. Okay. Let's see how this plays out. I'm aware of this guy.
You are. He's breathing right down your neck deliberately. He's almost like he's kind of provoking you a little bit. And actually, what he's going to do, he's going to use one of his actions, which is called "You dropped your lunch," and he's going to push you. And this ability, "You dropped your lunch," gives him advantage on unprovoked pushes. So he's going to try and push you over.
Okay.
Because he's Bullyboy. That's what Bullyboy does.
Dex save?
So, yeah, let's roll a dex save. Can I roll it against his strength? Is that doable?
That sounds fair. Because
So
I'm
you roll
aware
your dex
he's
save.
there, and I'm kind of readying myself for. I should have said I held a dodge. I'll go with a dex save. Oh, that was so close.
Hey.
Plus 6,
So
though.
12 plus 4,
he's strong,
16
though, isn't he?
in total.
Alex.
He's strong. So
Right.
you just get your ball of slop, and he pushes you over. I actually had advantage on it anyway, so he would have come twice. He pushes you over. Your slop hits the tiles, splashes everywhere, and everyone watching kind of laughs. Not necessarily because they find it funny, but almost that they kind of know they're supposed to.
Yeah.
And Bully Boy stands over you, laughing. And the guards are conspicuously looking away while also watching.
If the guards are looking away, then what I would like to do is cast my mage hand, which is, of course, an invisible mage hand, and just give him a slap up from behind at this point.
Has that got... What components has that got?
It's verbal and semantic.
So you're going to need to make gesture, and you're going to need to say words, aren't you?
Yes. So I'm quite
happy. Are you going to try and hide this? Are you going to try and hide the fact that you're casting this spell?
Yeah. I want him to think somebody else has just given him slack from behind.
Okay, so I'm going to need you to roll a sleight of hand check to see if you can get away with casting a spell in a jail that won't let you cast spells.
Can I do something that might give him some help?
You can, yeah.
So my thing is that I've been listening to some of the other prisoners, and I've dropped my telepathic connection with Barty and established it with Bullyboy. So I can speak directly into his mind. And I would like to speak into his mind using the voice of another prisoner.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd like to speak into his mind and just like, I'd just be like, for a man with a cowhead, he's a bit of a pig. And I'd just like to do that sort of at this moment, sort of in amongst like the laughter or whatever, as if somebody somewhere insulted him nearby, you know, just try and see if I can deceive him, which might then help it might help with the distract. He's trying to do a similar thing in a way to deceive him. So I wonder if I can take my action and give him some help.
And you've got an actor feat, haven't you? That gives you the ability to mimic people, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. So. Okay.
But the jammy bit I'm doing on it is I'm doing it telepathically. I'm not doing it.
So make like a performance check with advantage to see if it's kind of convincing enough for him to think it's in his ear as much as in his head.
Nice. Can I argue deception?
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, thanks, mate. 10, and I dropped a 1. So not the best roll. I've had to rush a little bit, and sort of maybe the volume's not at the right volume. I haven't quite got my frequency right. It's not bad, but it's not great.
You've not had enough time to study your mark either, have you? So it's enough to distract him momentarily for Nathan to, because he does turn, who said that? And there's a moment where, everyone stops and looks at him, and maybe Nathan, depending on how you roll here,
yeah, I totally agree.
A chance for you to
provides a distraction, but doesn't deceive him that it is that bloke at the table over there or something like that. Gotcha. Awesome. Giving Nathan his chance to do his mage hand.
I'm thinking of changing something up, but I've committed to it now, so it's fine. Yeah, so I'd like, just before he turns, I'd like to give him just a slap with this kind of, again, it's an invisible mage hand, so it's just the sleight of hand that I need to get away with here. And I would argue that you did say the guards were kind of feigning looking away, so I don't know if that... what I'll say that they were looking away.
Yeah, so you need to be...
Would that lower the DC?
No.
Okay.
Yes, because you got to beat their passive perception rather than their focused perception check.
That's it.
So the passive perception is 12. That's the score you want to beat.
Sleight of hand. It's my thing.
What's your roll? 18.
Oh, that's an 18.
Yeah. So you rolled an 18. Okay, you absolutely succeed in slapping him across the top of the head. And he kind of stumbles forward slightly. And actually, this is such an unexpected outcome that some of the prisoners snicker, but for real this time, rather than the sense that they've got to do it because Bullyboy's doing it.
As he stumbles forward, I'm assuming that I was on the floor in front of him, so I'm kind of getting to my feet, and as he stumbles forward, I kind of like to try and hold him up a little bit and go, "Oh, you be careful there, sir." And as I do, I'd like to try and pickpocket him, please.
Cool, go
I
for it.
think it was him over there. I'm going to lean into sleight of hand. Oh yeah, that's a 26.
You've got some bollocks.
Literally, he keeps it in his pocket. 26. So I think he's probably packing something.
Okay, tell you what then. Roll a D100. Let's see what he's got in his pockets. I've got a list of components
D100.
here.
Oh my lord. I've never rolled a D100. What do I do?
The one at the bottom on the right.
Last one?
That says 0-0. Yeah.
Is that? I'll call it. Does it automatically? You've got a list of 97. 97. Have I just won your game?
He's got a massive key that says exit. No.
I bet it was right next to the thing that said magic beads.
He's got a little vial of sweet oil in his pocket. A little kind of bottle of sweet oil, and you balance him up, and he's put off by the people laughing. He's not sure who hit him. His eyes narrow when he looks at you. The guards all turn to see what's going on because they were expecting a fight, and he's kind of been deprived of his moment a little bit. The momentum of his rage has been kind of displaced, and he kind of pushes you again, and you fall again, and this time you land in your slop, and he goes, but no one's really laughing. And he kind of stomps off because he's a bit pissed off. He was hoping to kind of make a big scene out of beating the shit out of you guys, and I think he's aware, like all bullies, that his audience aren't quite with him. So that could have gone a lot worse, I think.
A vial of oil, you say?
Kind of vial of kind of oil, yeah. When you smell it, it's got a kind of sweet smell to it.
Is that an item I can find? Or should I just roll? Because I want to keep it to my inventory, if I may.
I've just rolled on a table, so just chuck it in your inventory or make a note of it. Or,
Can I
it could be in it.
occasionally? Can
I'll
I
look it up.
occasionally just repeat the laughter in his head?
Sure.
Oh,
I mean, yeah, sure.
The number of this kid.
Just
Get the fuck
every
out
now
of
and
here.
then,
Oh, you're on his own.
just like.
And you can see him
I-
getting kind of like
Yeah,
quite worked up. You know, he's getting quite. How many times do you want to do that in the space of lunch? You really trying to provoke something here?
I think just I think
In
I
the
think
voice.
I'm almost of someone
the other
else,
way.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I think he's just, I think he's just playing. I think he's like trying to work out, get the pitch of it right, because he can do this at quite large distances. So I think he's like playing around with, okay, what's the right volume for this? And he's just watching his reactions, testing him, seeing if he can provoke him, and watching the rage build.
Okay, so he's just made a con save, which he's passed. So he's managed. Like he is on a rolling boil most of the time, Bullyboy
Yeah.
anyway. So it's not new to him. He hears those voices all the time. It's not new. You're gonna have to do more if you want to really push him over the edge.
Oh, I've got.
Uh,
If this is what we're doing, can I try one thing?
Sure, this is what you're doing. Go for it.
Then I would like to cast Prestidigitation to just start a little fire in his pocket. And because, sorry to do this, but because my the feat that I took is Cartomancer, I can do that without. I can conceal the verbal and semantic components of the spell. Dun, dun.
What? Define conceal.
I'm reading here. When you use prestidigitation in this way, in this way. Scratch all that. Doesn't matter. I can't start fires with no one noticing. Fuck. If anybody finds a deck of cards, by the way, then let me know. But
Yeah, I mean, I'd love a bit of fire around here as well. But yeah, I mean, there are fires in the kitchen.
Yeah, I mean, it's not hard to start a fire. As you're taking your seats, let me point out a couple of the NPCs to you. You see a kind of a dark-skinned, freckly, grey-haired gnome with a man who looks like he'd probably have a voice like an open fire. And he's got a kind of a flat cap and curly grey hair. And he sat looking at you, he gives you the merest of nods. And I'll tell you, you can always find out later if you want to go approach him. He seems reasonably approachable. He's a Rubrum August, and he's a gnome who knows how to get things. And you notice as you find a seat that people will let you sit in, that there's kind of a couple of groupings as well. They've kind of modified their uniforms maybe to look similar. That there's a kind of a group gathered around a large half orc. They're all kind of muscly, hedge jail types, and another group gathered around a drow who they're all together, less hench, but more maybe cerebral and a bit cunning, and they're kind of occasionally eyeing each other across the canteen. Everyone else is just kind of keeping their head down. They just don't want any trouble. And you eat up your slot, and the I've got a thing for this. Hang on. You eat up your slop. Somewhere, a horn blares, and it's time for work. You shuffle off to your allotted duty under the guard's watchful eye. Someone roll a d4, please.
go ahead, Ferdinand.
That would be the highest number of dice.
4. Your Let me see if I can find this. For the sake of kind of expediency here, I'm going to say that you're both being assigned to the kitchen for your work duty. So you shuffle off to the kitchen. There's a kind of a harried, you can see it on your map there. There's a kind of a harried looking chef who is not a prisoner, and you can tell he's not pleased to have to, teach you oiks how to cook. And the new guys, he assigns you like pot washing duty or whatever. And you've got all the kind of kitchen appliances there at the back of the canteen. All the bowls that have been used, they need to be washed. There's ovens there for cooking the meal for later on. And there's a storeroom at the back where various bits and bobs are kind of concealed. So if you want to kind of, there's a component you're after, or you think that something valuable that maybe you can get in the kitchen, this is the thing.
Sorry, can I check one thing that you said, which was the chap who knew how to get things?
Rubrum August.
Rubrum August. He's not here now, is he?
His duty is in the hospital.
Ah.
Are any of the people you named, like, or didn't name, so like the Minotaur, Bullyboy, or the big half-orc, a drow, are any of them with us?
No, that's not where they've been assigned. I haven't assigned them to those places. Obviously, I could randomize that as I wish, but I haven't
it's fine.
put them in the kitchen.
Are the prisoners with us?
Yeah, there's a couple of other guys there. You can chat to them if you wish, but you're under the watchful eye of a couple of guards and the chef who's going to be, hey, you get out your work,
Yes, horse.
Kind of stuff. But yeah.
Yes, chef. I think I would be interested in a tinderbox, something that would create flame. I would be interested in, which it wouldn't seem too impossible in the kitchen.
Roll a perception check.
Okay. It's not my best. If you'd said investigation, Colin, that would have been better.
Investigation is fine.
That's all right.
Wow, that's
it's okay.
You see, beside the stove that that would be used to prepare the evening meal. You're still washing everything. You can see a tinder that will be used to light that stove later, and it's just kind of sitting there. There's probably a regulation to put it away or put it in the lockbox or whatever, but that's not been followed at this time, and the chef is looking elsewhere.
Okay. Why am I at stats? Why? I'd like to. I think I'd like to break my connection with the Minotaur. I was quite liking the idea of mining that for a while. But I'm going to break that connection and reform it with Barty. And I'm just going to go, honey, I'm back. In his head. And
very great.
And then I'm going to be like, would you care to give me a hand acquiring a tinderbox?
Now, sir, if you're a planning and a scheming, then your good friend Bartholomew B. Bonkers be helping you with such schemes. Tinderbox, you say? Where?
Just over there by the stove. Some fool has left it unattended. Probably should be packed away, and therefore once it's gone, they may only assume that the job was done properly.
How many people in the kitchen, please, Colin?
It's a guard who's paying medium attention. and there's a chef. So you're going to need to roll. Well, you tell me, but tell me how you want to do this.
I think I would like to try and cause a distraction. I've just a minor one of like dropping something on the floor, or making a bit of a mess, and to just try and draw attention to a different part of the room.
I
Okay.
have quite a question for you to educate on. So my feat allows me to cast, and again, please tell me how to say prestidigitation as well at any point. So prestidigitation.
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 To the
Oof.
yeah,
Absolutely.
Think digits, fingers. That's the syllables.
Prestidigitation. Oh, lovely. So I want a ruling on this because I'm not really interested in cracking the game or anything because I think it's cool and wonderful and I love it. But it says I can create illusions that duplicate the effects of stage magic whilst concealing. So I would say, let's limit. What would we limit that to? Like a puff of smoke feels stage magic-y. Can I produce a dove or some kind of? It's not magic. It's illusion.
Here's the thing. You want to cast magic in a jail where obviously magic is forbidden. Most of the prisoners know that, are aware of it. Everyone knows you're the two new guys. So I'm gonna say go for it, but I'm gonna set a pretty high DC for a kind of performance check to see if you can look innocent enough. Like if it's a really obvious magic thing, everyone's going to look at you two going, "Do you guys not know the rules about magic?" So,
okay,
like, and actually, so if you're saying to me, I can conceal the verbal and somatic components, I'm like, yeah, fine. But can you look innocent enough afterwards so that maybe someone else gets the blame, or maybe they assume that it's something else?
Fine.
That's what I'm after here.
That's
the kind of fine grained drama.
That's very reasonable, GM. Thank you. I would say then, in that I am somewhat of the confidence trickster, somewhat of the card sharp, I'd feel that confident that I could, a very minor effect, for example, the smell of something burning or something, I would say is possibly
that's pretty often.
Yeah, just to make the chef look away, and then I'd make my grab at the tinderbox.
Okay.
So
my role is deceive, right? Yeah, I want to make a deception, and Nathan's going to give me a smell or a sound effect to help with it. Like maybe when I drop my tray, the sound of me dropping it is amplified. Like there may be something like that. You heighten what I do, basically.
No, to be fair, if you're dropping a tray, I don't feel that I need to cause another distraction there. If there's a distraction, I will just make a swipe. So I'm assuming he's waiting for me to get a little close enough
to it.
Do you want me
to make a roll, Cole?
So what are you're dropping a plate, Chris, right?
I'm dropping a clanger basically in a different area.
I don't think that's going to need a roll. I'm pretty sure you can drop a plate. So let's assume you can drop a plate.
Maybe my role is how successfully I can cause a distraction without significant repercussion for myself.
That's the thing. What are the guards doing here?
Well, why don't you want to drop your plate? Why don't you drop your plate and let's see what happens?
Let's do it.
Yeah, I do it.
So let's deal with the aftermath of all these rolls. Let's work it through. So Chris, you drop a plate. There's a tremendous crash. Everyone goes ooh and looks your way. Chef, guard, everyone. Barty,
I make my
you
sleight of hand.
sleight of hand sounds good to me.
Oh,
And let's
God.
say you've got, actually, it doesn't matter because you rolled 16. You rolled a 16. So, this is your bread and butter. You're well used to this. The streets of whatever shitty city you grow up in, it disappears up your sleeve. And let's roll on the guard demeanor table to see how the guard reacts to Ferdy's clumsiness. This guard looks at you with disdain and with anger because he's been startled by this noise. And then you can see him cycling through these emotions, the fright, the anger, and then a smile. And he comes over and he wallops you with the butt end of his spear.
Ooh.
And I assume let's roll against your. I mean, you've got no armor on, right? So let's see how he does. So that's a 19 total. So that's going to hit. Yeah, let's roll one-handed. He does five points of damage. He kind of gets you in the ribs with the end of his spear. It kind of kicks you to the floor. And he's like, "Oh no, shit again, new fish." He kind of leaves you kind of gasping for breath on the floor. So you're down 5 hit points.
I think Ferdinand. Oh, I'm sorry, officer. The voices in my head told me to do it.
And he says, "You mean you did that shit on purpose?"
Oh, no.
And he hits you again. This time doing 3 damage.
Oh, I didn't even make an attack roll.
Sorry, I did mean.
Is he prone? Does he get advantage on that?
No, let me do the attack. Yeah, you are prone. He gets advantage.
Roll again then.
I absorb it. I'm going to say he absorbs it. Like he sort of moves in a way where he takes the blow.
Yeah, he doesn't miss, but doesn't do any
it.
damage. Yeah, that's fair enough. And he says, "I'm doing that shit again, fish." And he clean this shit up. And the chef comes over with his sword, and he's down. I'm kidding.
Takes your eye.
Just keep beating you to the death. And that's the game.
Excellent.
Okay, so
in all this uproar, can I see a small knife anywhere?
no.
It's
a kitchen. No, like it is a kitchen, but it's a kitchen in a prison. No,
fine.
And actually, I'm going to say as well that you've kind of done your action, like your duty's kind of passed.
Fair.
We're going to move on to the next part of the day. So somewhere a horn blares and it's break time. You've got a couple of options here. You've got you can visit the library or you can go to the yard. Thank you. The yard.
I'm sorry it was so slow.
Enjoyed it.
I've got a nice little bit of writing here, so I'm going to need you to shut up.
Yes.
The yard is a gossamer network of factions, feuds, and malevolent stares. If you can just make it to the next day without getting beaten or stabbed, you can count the day a success. So you can. And I'd like you also both to roll a D12, please.
D12.
Okay, fine.
Okay.
So yeah, the yard. Connections can be made, NPCs can be spoken to, or the library, where you could do some possibly research.
I'd like to. Are there a lot of guards? Generally working within the prison.
The kind of not the common area, the kind of courtyard of the cells has got at least 2 sentries with crossbows on a gantry above at all times. Most locations you're going to go to have got probably 2 guards kind of keeping watch. Some of them more diligently than others. We'll roll on the tables to find that out. So yeah, that's kind of it. So
I guess
not like loads and loads, but
my question was more like how many in total are kind of employed. So like, would everyone know, like, that each of the guards kind of have a reputation, or would it be quite like there's just too many of them for that?
I'm going to say there's too many of them for that. That I've got a table I'll roll on to randomly determine the demeanor of whatever guard you happen to be interacting with on that day. Obviously, if you wish, and if enough people back the campaign, we can put in NPCs who are guards. But for now, I'm just going to keep it random.
Nice. I think I'd like to see if I can get any insight on the other people who were around us when we were on kitchen duty, another prisoner, and just an insight on how other people reacted to me getting hit. Whether there's anyone who sort of was impressed that I took it well, or whether I was looked down on for it. I want to get a read on how that behavior impacted on our kind of fellow prisoners, whether they look down on me for doing it, or whether they think, oh, you took that kind of thing.
Okay. Why don't, so you're going out to the exercise yard then, yeah?
Yep.
Yeah.
Are you both doing that?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm going to ask you to make 2 rolls then. First, roll a performance check to see how well you can walk out across the yard and look kind of tough, but also not arrogant, because you want to walk that line where you don't look too vulnerable, to being picked on, or you don't want to look arrogant either because someone will try and take you on. So why don't you both roll performance checks to see if you can cross the yard without, looking up.
Performance. Oh, snap. Little word.
Not so good.
Okay. Your reputation for being, new fish, is not going away anytime soon. The way you strut across the yard looks like you look scared, you look frightened. And I think to answer your question, Chris, that feeds into the perception of the incident earlier on. They're not surprised by the violence or taken aback by the reaction. They pretty much expect it, and their attitude is a little bit like, what the fuck was he thinking dropping a plate for? Why did he, doesn't he realize that they feel you were naive to do that, and that wasn't smart behavior. Can you both roll a perception check as well, please?
Perception. Sure thing.
Oh,
okay. 16.
Ferdinand, you're too busy trying to figure out what people think of you to hear anything. Barty, you hear some people talking and you get just a snatch. And I'd like you to roll a D12, please.
D12.
Old school.
3.
As you walk past, you hear one of the guards saying to one of the prisoners, they're having a conversation. He goes, he told me the Bullyboy's only got one weakness. He says he's allergic to flaxseed. Can you believe it? And,
Notes.
And that's what you hear, just a random snatch conversation as you come across the yard. So what you want to do? You want to stand and hang and look tough, or do you want to talk to someone? What do you want to do?
I would go on.
Go ahead. No, you go.
I'd like to be athletic. I'd like to pump some iron, please.
Okay.
So I would like to go over to where the kind of butch half orcs are.
Yes.
And kind of, I think, I suspect they're vested at this point. Like they've taken kind of one of their layers off, and they're pumping iron, etc. And I think I would like to go and see if I can join in.
Cool. Make an athletics check. Let's see how well you impress these dudes.
As I go over, on my way over, let me just check my spells. Yeah. Can I cast guidance on myself?
You can try.
It's just verbal and semantic. To just drop a little bit of extra power into my roll if I can.
Okay. So again, there's guards here. They are watching. So you say magic words out loud and do a gesture, they might spot it. So
My dex is
you're gonna need to roll here to see if you can get away with doing this without them noticing.
It's a really good idea. I like the jeopardy involved in casting like a cantrip.
Yeah, it's cool.
Can I argue deception?
Argue whatever you like, roll whatever you want. You tell me.
I'm going to go that I'm making a sort of deception check on whether I can cast my spell unseen.
Well,
like I kind of like I'm just walking along, moving my hands, muttering to myself. Like I've already said, I hear my head.
okay.
Like I'm just going over in my manner, and while I'm doing that, I try and throw a spell into it.
Okay. Go for it.
Is my kind of thing. We'll see how it goes. 13.
Pass by 1.
Oh.
They don't notice. You can add +4 to your athletics check.
Okay, I roll a d4 on my athletics. So I go over to be a bit athletic with these big lads.
Okay.
23.
Wow.
Because and I think sort of surprisingly so, like he loves this. Like he loves to go to the gym and work out. That's where he cleanses all of the awful things that he does. And so he kind of goes over there, kind of goes for it. And, he trained as at one point, his line was that he was a priest, but he was a paladin. Like he was getting ready to take his oath and be a kind of religious warrior in a way, but he was not quite fitting in. So he's kind of used to this kind of macho environment to an extent, I think.
Sounds like you'd enjoy a bathhouse.
Oh yeah, he'd love it.
The half-orc leader is impressed, and he slopes over in that way. Dangerous physical people slope places. And he says, your pump iron good. Looks good. The name's Vault Drang. This here.
What's his first name?
Vault
Drang.
This here is the Drang Gang.
Nice.
And you're using our equipment. You want membership of the Drang Gang. We can talk. But you've got to pass initiation, fish.
Well, that just sounds like an offer I can't refuse.
And he laughs, big belly laugh. And he points to his mates as if to go, this is the kind of fish I can get behind. And
Oh.
looks you up and down, and he goes, and I mean get behind. And he puts his arm around you and he takes you off into the corner. He says, now listen, he says, normally we give fish like you the difficult initiation, but he says, I like your attitude. I'm going to put this on easy mode. He says, you want to get into the Drang Gang? The only thing you need to do is beat the shit out of a guard.
Oh, at least thank you, gentlemen, for giving me something to enjoy and not simply endure.
He's really impressed with that attitude. He fucking hates the guards. This man is violence incarnate. And in fact, I'll read you the description if you'll permit me. He's the half-orc leader of the Drang Gang. He revels in violence. His love for hitting things hard is only outweighed by his hate for the guards and the prison staff. His answer to any problem is to belt the living shit out of it. It would not take much, and I'm giving you this hint here, to rile, convince, cajole, or just ask him to start a riot. Any excuse for violence, he will gladly accept. But you want to be on his good side, you're going to have to beat the shit out of a guard.
I predict a riot.
And I think, I think at this point he says, challenge accepted.
And he laughs and he's like, I'll wait to see it. I'll wait to see it. And with that, he goes, but till then, stay off our fucking equipment. And he walks off. And actually, there's a sense as well in the yard now of like the ordinary prisoners are a bit like, what the fuck is he doing? Like first he's dropping plates, and now he's trying to join the Drang Gang. What is he doing? And we're going to turn to Barty at this point. What would you like to spend your leisure time doing?
Firstly, I think I'm clocking Ferdinand with kind of Steve Buscemi in Con Air vibes, I think is what I'm getting. This little fella who actually just scares the living shit out of. There's two things I'd like to do. Firstly,
Cyrus the Virus, is that what he's called, or am I getting it wrong?
Oh, that's Malkovich, isn't it? He's I forgot who he is, but he's the one who's locked in, and all the big guys are fucking scared of him, isn't he?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
The first thing, can I have a little look the general yard area, like how tall, how high are these fences? What's beyond? Can I see through the fences? What's beyond them? What's the ground made of?
The fence is like a palisade. You can't see through it. Maybe
Right.
you could see like a glimmer through it if you went right up and stuck your eye to it. You're unlikely to get to do that.
I'm not going to do that.
In an ordinary course of events by a guard. The walls are about 60 foot high.
60.
60.
Right.
And you've got guards near you. The ground is kind of tough, kind of hard scrabble, kind of gravel. But there are the odd weed and plant growing. There's a couple of kind of branches poking through parts of the fence. Essentially, if there was a kind of a commoner garden herby type component you were after here, you might be able to find it.
Right. I'm looking for two things. I'm looking at the ground to see if I can. I think rose petals is probably a bit of a stretch, but I would also take sand. If there's any kind of sand around here, if anything's quite sandy, I wouldn't mind a pinch of that. But mainly, I'm looking. Is anyone playing cards?
Yes. So I'm going to let you do one thing here, right? There
Okay.
is a couple of people playing cards in the corner. that drow that you saw people gathered around is playing dragon chess as well. And there's kind of like almost like a kind of a queue there of people, and he's beating opponents very quickly. It's quite clear that he's trouncing people quite quickly in that game. And there's a game of like kind of jail poker or whatever the fuck it's called going on in the corner, and you see other little this, like I said, there's components to the ground. So you want to do a thing. You got one thing to do here. What you want to do?
One thing to do. Okay, again, I just want to talk through this feat. This cartomancer thing is freaking awesome, but I essentially need a deck of cards. But I'm wondering, do I want to? Yeah, I'm actually gonna go and see if I can get a game of dragon chess with the drow. Actually, because I've clocked that he's the guy who knows how to get things. Yeah.
No,
He's not. He's the leader of the other faction in the jail.
Oh,
The guy who knows get things is
so no.
Mugrum August, who is sat over kind of off to the side, and there's people coming up to him, you can tell,
All right.
whispering his name, placing orders, handing him
Then-
money, and going. So you could go speak to him if you want.
I wouldn't mind going to speak to him, if that's okay.
Yeah. And I think you kind of almost take your place in the line of people who want to speak to him. And you approach him and he says, the new boy, how can I help you? They say, and the great thing about him is he speaks in kind of really annoying, vague platitudes. He says, they say the new boy is only new but twice a day when the clock is broken.
So they do say that, sir. They do, and it's a pleasure to make your acquaintance at this time of day. Now, I believe that you're. I've been told you're a man who knows how to get things from time to time.
I'm leaping across certain atoms from time to time. What's your favorite animal?
My favorite animal, of course, sir, is the mongoose.
Mongoose.
For the mongoose can chase a serpent, but it cannot slide on a dolphin. And he gives him a really knowing look at that.
And he's impressed. He says, "You're wise. I like you. I like penguins. What can I do for you? What can I do for you?"
Well, sir, I'm a simple man, and I miss the simple pleasures. Sound of a card being flipped over on a riverboat. This is what would make my time here pass a little more pleasantly. Could you see your way? If you could see your way into getting me a deck of cards, I would be eternally grateful. Now, what would that? Yeah.
I can definitely get you a deck of cards. It's going to take about 4 days. Cost you 10 silver. He says, "You know what? It'll cost you 7 silver pieces."
Oh, sir. May I extend my gratitude?
Doesn't like you, mongoose.
Oh. Well, Mr.
And that's
Penguin,
gonna call it-
I
that's
like
who's
you
gonna
too.
call
Now, sir, that's 7 silvers, you say. Now, I may have just come into a little oil that I think somebody of your demeanor could pass on for far more than 7 silvers. So what say you to an exchange?
Show me that oil.
And I very, covering it the whole way, very, very, this is not, this guy knows the seal, and he just kind of shows him.
It's nice oil you've got here. Of course, you know what they say about oil. Good oil greases the wheel of any old squeaky wagon. And he
They
looks
do
at you
say
as if
that,
waiting
sir.
for you to, like, waiting for you to realise. And he says, okay. He says, okay. Our bargain is sealed. I'll take your oil. He says, and now your cards will be left in your cell 4 days' time.
Well, thank you, sir. And may the sunshine of my appreciation feed the seeds of our acquaintance.
He's so impressed. He says, Mongoose, you are so wise. I wonder how the fuck you ended up in prison in the first place.
Oh, well, look at me, sir. Or it did me.
He did us all, didn't he? And
He did us all.
we're all innocent in here. And with that, your business with the wise Rubrum August is over. Somewhere a horn blares, and it's dinner time. You file down to the canteen, where they slop out a meager portion of barely food onto your tray. Even still, you eat quickly, hungrily, warily. Can I get a marching order for the queue, please?
I think you can go first, Butch Boy.
Ferdinand will go first, following the half orcs in.
Have you got like a tear tattoo already? Or something?
And so, just to be clear, Ferdinand, you're following the Drang Gang, and then Barty, you're behind him in the queue.
Sure, why not?
As you queue up, behind you, you feel the familiar hot breath of the bully boy, who is back for more. And you can feel
To
his hot
me?
breath on your neck. Yeah, you. And he says nothing. He just breathes. As you queue, you shuffle forward.
I turn around to him and I put my hand flat on his chest and I call and I'm going to cast Shocking Grasp, and let's be damned the consequences, because this guy needs to go fuck himself now. Enough,
Holy moly.
enough, sir.
Fucking hell, this is going to be great. Right, okay.
Are we rolling initiative?
I know I'm about to absolutely wreck, but I think I've got all my stuff off me. I gave him the oil, so I don't have anything, so I'm cool. Let's find out. I want to find out. This is me, basically. I want to find out what.
Yeah, me too.
Shocking. Yeah.
Let's roll for initiative and let's see where that gets us.
I'm enough.
How do I roll? How do I roll bully for initiative?
I think you drop him in, it will give him a score, I think. Or I think right click him. There you go.
Yeah, there we go. He's top of the round. Okay, I think because I'll give you the surprise round, right? You kind of want to provoke
That
this
seems
attack, don't you? You want to provoke this attack by doing Shocking Grasp. Talk me through Shocking Grasp components, how you do it, what it does, etc.
Verbal and semantic. So I'm not hiding it, because I mean, lightning springs from your hand to deliver a shock to a creature you try to touch. So there's no mask in this here, but this guy, he's not going away. And if it's a beating I'm about to take, I might as well take it early on.
Okay, do it. Roll your thing on it. See what happens.
Well, there you go. I can't think of how I miss him, but miss him I do. I think it just doesn't really phase him. He's a big guy, isn't he? And
Yeah, I think you hit him, but it doesn't appear to do any damage. And yet,
I think, yeah.
And yet,
put my hand on, and I give him my best shot, and then I look up. I'm like, oh boy!
You look up and up again,
yeah.
And actually, to your surprise, because you thought the attack missed, he goes, and he falls to the ground as if like a kind of a footballer who's been not fouled. Roll a perception check.
You do. Oh. Someone got my back. Penguin? Why don't I know how to roll a perception?
Roll a perception check.
I am doing. I just got panicky. That's all right. 17 perception.
Ooh. And you think that you've really hurt him. And you actually kind of almost like go, I'm so sorry. Check to see if he's all right.
Can
and
I
in the
make
moment,
a perception check? You rolled a nat 20, didn't you? Fuck it.
Go for it.
No, you rolled a nat 20. You pull it off.
And you almost think you've hurt him. He's like, you can almost think you see tears in his eyes. And as you bend over him to check if he's all right, you see a look at his eye. And this is one of his features called Dirty Trick. And what you've done is you've dropped your guard to check if he's all right.
Yeah.
And now he's going to attack you with advantage. And he's going to go with he's going to try and gore you. And he's got advantage attack. And he's also going to add sneak attack damage to it as well. I'm sorry.
Fuck.
That's a hit.
Day one of prison, you got to go after the big guy. Fuck me, maybe not.
2 points of damage. I'm going to add 6 as his D6 attack, sneak attack damage, 3. So I'm going to turn that into 21.
I instantly regret my course of action.
I think it's brilliant. I think it's absolutely great. Ferdinand, would you like to? Oh no, it's sorry. That was him.
We're in round one.
Yeah, Barty, it's your go actually. So he's done this thing. He kind of, and you can hear him laughing at you, fish, as he kind of tricks you. And as he hits you, everyone else in the canteen goes, "Oh!" And they wait to see what you do next. So Barty, you're up again because you had your surprise. He had his go. Yeah, it's your go.
Sorry, I thought it was for Ferdy. I heard that. I don't. There's not a lot I can do. There is absolutely nothing I can actually do apart from shocking grasp. It's the only thing that I can. You know what? Fine. I think as he gorges me, I go, look, sir, we have got off on the wrong footing here. We could be friends. And I would like to attempt to charm him. Now, I've already attacked him, so it's a wisdom saving throw advantage on that. And it's also only going to last an hour. And then he definitely knows that I did it. So this is more magic. I'm pot committed now. I mean, he fails, but he gets advantage. Oh, bastard! It doesn't even work. And then I would like to disengage as a bonus action because I can do, and leg it. And I'm backing up and trying to, move away from him.
Can you set the scene a bit, Cole? Because we were in the queue, right?
Yeah.
He's come up behind him in the queue. They've been fighting in the queue.
You're in the queue. Bullyboy's breathing down your neck. You turn, put a hand on his chest. There's a kind of a discharge of energy, and everyone's suddenly aware that magic has been cast. Bullyboy falls over theatrically. Everyone goes, "Ooh!" But there's a couple of elbows as if to go, he's done this before. See if he falls for it, which you do. And then Bullyboy, gores you, sends you flying, and there's another, "Ooh!" And you kind of back up, realize, and then everyone's like, "Oh, here we go," And actually, Ferdinand, you can see the guards now, and they wanted to see how this plays out. And actually, you can see one of them kind of almost go, "Fuck's sake," and hand him the other one like a fiver, like almost like, he lost the bet. And they're like, "I'm going to have to get involved now," kind of thing. And especially because of the magic. So you can see them making their way over, and one of them's kind of blown a whistle. You can hear that sharp blare. So there's like more on the way. So if you want me to set the scene here, if you kind of get involved and defend Barty, you might be seen as someone who got involved in the fight or started it. So whatever happens next, or
These guys are about to step in, though, right?
they absolutely are. So you run the risk here of being seen as part of the problem and therefore punished like they will be, should you choose to get involved, which you don't have to.
I think in this ruckus of them coming in, the guards coming in to break up the fight, I would take a step back, seeing the guard who hit me earlier. I would take a step back out of his way and be like, "Oh, I'm so dreadfully sorry." And I would have held my action essentially until that moment. And then as he goes past me to deal with it, whatever, I'd like to cast a spell into the mind of a guard.
Okay.
Can I do that? Because he's not on the combat tracker, so it's just a bit of a question.
Yeah, of course you can. What's the spell? How's this going to work out?
I'd like to cast Dissonant Whispers,
Okay.
which is usually a bard spell, but I get it with my thing, my sorcerer thing. So it says you whisper a discordant melody that only one creature of your choice can hear. So no one else would hear it. Only he would hear it.
Yeah.
And racking it with terrible pain. The target must make a wisdom saving throw.
Okay. Okay, sure. I'll roll the save.
Oh, that would totally succeed.
Natural 19 save.
It's a success, right?
Yeah.
Do you want to roll a performance, a sleight of hand, to see if you do this without him noticing it's you?
Oh no, I think he notices it's me.
Oh, he knows it's you.
I think that's how the spell works.
Okay.
But no one else would. Right? Like no one else would think I had, but he would be where we're at. So if he was like, this guy did this, like I don't think anyone else would have known. That's the nature of the spell.
Okay.
But he takes half damage on a success.
Okay, so what's half damage? You want to roll that? I'm making note.
He takes 4 or 5 damage.
He takes 4 damage.
It's a melody. It's not vicious mockery. So it's I think I sort of I whisper a hymn. You know, I think it's you know, he sort of whispers some sort of hymn regarding the suffering of the innocent and intones it as this man comes past him.
He's got, like, there's an emergency, there's a fight broken out, the Bullyboy's involved. He knows he's got to deal with that as a matter of urgency, or else he would be beating the shit out of you. But he does go through that cycle again, and he looks back at you and he smiles. Because he knows that you and Barty are cellmates. He knows Barty's getting thrown in solitary tonight, and that you will be all alone in your cell. So he knows you ain't going anywhere, and he's going to take his time over getting you back for that one. And Barty, you hear the whistle of the guards and the tramp of their footsteps. You kind of hear maybe a kind of an alert or an alarm going off. You get to do this brilliant thing where the bully boy's facing you down and he's going to come at you. And actually, you might not survive this one, given that he did you 21 damage the last time. But you hear the guards coming, so they grab you. So you get to do a McLovin. You get to look really tough as they drag you away, should you wish to.
Can I make an I think this is intimidation or deception, or I'd like to roll for it to see how convinced everyone is.
Sure. Roll your best one.
I'm actually all right at intimidation. Let's go with that. You, sir, the riverboat man has marked your cards, sir. Oh, that's a 23. 23 intimidation.
And you're older.
On a minor.
You're thin. You got the half elf kind of slightly voodoo thing going on. You've been
Yeah,
heard
yeah,
of
yeah,
acid,
yeah,
Bullyboy's bit of a kind of a superstitious type. So maybe
There
he
you go.
does kind of think to himself, "Oh shit, I've made the voodoo man angry." In any event,
Mm.
two of the guards drag you off because you're easy to drag off,
As they
and the
drag
other
me, I'm eye locking all the way with Bullyboy.
absolutely, and he's you can see the steam coming out of his nostrils, and the other guards come around. They're like, "All right, Bully, you know how this goes, man. Let's not make it harder than it needs to be." And kind of you don't really see how they manage to subdue him because you're dragged away and you're in solitary. Um and you're going to spend the rest of the night in solitary. So any actions you might have taken tonight in the cell or any plans you might have made to further your escape, you won't be able to do.
But I feel I can monologue for up to 2 to 3 hours.
Well, we'll see. I've got a table for you to roll on. Don't panic.
A few hours.
I do. Ferdinand, we're going to put you back in your cell. A horn blares somewhere and it's nighttime and you're in solitary. So we'll go to Ferdinand first and then we'll go to Barty and see what solitary brings. Ferdinand, is there anything you'd like to do?
But we're being sent back to our cells now, right?
You are, yeah. If there was any secretive kind of project you wanted to undertake or any kind of like I don't know, tunnel you wanted to dig, now would be the time to do that kind of shit.
I don't think there is anything like that at this point. But I think once he's back in his cell, he's going to consider what might be the best thing to do next.
Okay, I can leave you ruminate on that. Barty, would you roll a d6, please?
I will indeed. That is a 6.
So you are chucked in tiny, like 1 foot square room. The door's locked. It's completely dark. 1 foot, whatever. Enough room to kind of crouch in.
Sure.
It's pitch. It's dark. There's a small light coming in through the bottom of the door. With a 6 on the solitary confinement table, you have the opportunity to carve some graffiti into the wall. What would you like to carve into the wall?
I carve the phrase, "Even a mongoose can topple a bull."
Nice. That was your first day in full shack prison.
The last thing before you fall asleep is just you hear a voice in your head go, "Don't worry, darling. You're not alone."
Yeah, I don't think I'm sleeping anytime soon now. I think I'm going to look to get into solitary every fucking night, to be perfectly honest.
That's the end of your first day. Almost.
Oh.
Ferdinand, you are asleep. And you hear the lock on your cell slide back. And there's kind of a heavy, panting breathing. And the door creaks slowly open. And it's the guard from earlier. But with him, he's got, on a tight leash, a mastiff hound.
Oh.
She releases off the leash. And he says, good boy. I'll get him. And he shuts the door. And you hear the bolt sliding back. And the mastiff begins to snarl.
Oh.
And that's the end of your first day.
Yeah.
Oh, love it.
That's amazing.
You're gonna if it hurts me, you're gonna have really fucked up time in that cell, mate.
Have you? Can I not switch that off? Is I'm just going to hear you getting eaten by a dog. I experience your pain. Fuck. All right.
No, you won't experience my pain. But it's like if I speak to you,
I'll just hear it.